obviously in the scholars, among the scholars who do not consider this problem to be as serious. There was a very interesting book written in California, early 70s, late 60s, Hard Times, Hard Tomatoes. So a lot of Spanish Mexican workers used to come and pick tomatoes from the tomato fields in California. So when the breeders developed a variety of thick-skinned tomato, why did they develop thick-skinned tomato? Because this could be picked up by machines. If you have to pick up tomato by machine, you need to change the variety. So you make it thick-skinned. Now the tomatoes are so thick-skinned that you don't get any taste anymore in them, isn't it? In the right, they look very beautiful. Look at the aesthetics now again. They look beautiful, round, red, no taste. But what are the tomatoes designed for? Is it designed to see in the salad bowl, or they are designed to eat? Ask yourself a question. But the scientists have bred. So a lot of workers then got out of work because Hard Times, Hard Tomatoes. That was the title of the book. Very interesting, very influential book for anyone who is interested in the history of thought, history of knowledge, history of how the coalition of forces takes place to disenfranchise people in their work. It's a very interesting book. So this is a story. Let me go further. So this is, of course, a caricature of what I think about the contemporary society, where, you know, our planners say that poor can eat, walk, they have hand, they have legs, they have mouth. Brain? What do you mean by brain? There's a word used in economics called as unskilled laborer. I'll give you examples of unskilled laborers. 250 million people are given 100 days of employment, you know, in our country for doing what? Quote unquote unskilled work under National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. This country which gave so much importance to the skill development in the history in the last 5,000 years, so much so that it developed categories, social categories on the basis of skill that you have. It created caste structure around skill, correct? Wo Samaj, Vishwakarma, what are the Vishwakarma people? Those who deal with the tools, machines, right? They are some of the most skilled workers in Gujarat also. You go to Mehsana, you go to any other place, the most skilled mechanics will be Vishwakarma people, right? So they were the kind of celebration at one time which was done. So let us look at, this is the picture from Godhra, Dahod. Malum hai na? We had gone to this village during our Shodh Yatra, found this painting. Now you won't call him unskilled, will you? He won't be unskilled. But we can't give employment to people to make paintings. Paintings cannot be employment. Breaking stone can be. Just imagine the way knowledge can be erased from the agenda because a particular policy, a particular institution has to be justified. I don't want to deal with the differentiators. Don't tell me that this fellow is a good musician, this fellow is a good singer, this fellow is a good artist, this fellow is a good sculptor. मुझे मत बताओ वो मूर्तिकार है, वो चित्रकार है, वो गाता है, मुझे मत बताओ ये बातें सब. तो मुझे हर एक के लिए अलग से सोचना पड़ेगा. No, I don't want to think differently for different people. Look at this. तुम नहीं थे बंगाल में ना? You were not there. But this Shodh Yatra we had in Purulia, West Bengal, and we saw this lady. Now obviously, is she skilled or unskilled? And again, aesthetics. We haven't seen another wall like this in the 22 states that we have walked in. This woman is a genius. She is a genius, sitting there with a broom, not knowing that she is a genius. Now comes very important point. What purpose, what agency feelings give to those who possess knowledge? If I have knowledge of what value this artwork has, how do I use my volition, my choice, my agency, my ability to do things to valorize this work? Is it because I have knowledge or is it because I have feeling? That's the question you have to ask. See the point? What is that variable which makes me use my knowledge? I have knowledge, you have knowledge, but we are not using it. So this is the whole wall. And we couldn't walk. How do we walk? We couldn't walk. Something unprecedented, unparalleled is in front of our eyes. How do we walk? And mind you, she didn't have much stock of things in her house. घर में कुछ नहीं था उसके. दाहोद में गए थे जिसके घर में, उसके घर में कोई बक्सा नहीं था. Many of the tribal people don't even have a box. Forget about an almirah or anything else. I will not get into why Maslow is wrong. Some of you might have seen that talk where I mentioned this and a huge debate followed. How can Maslow be wrong? Of course Maslow was wrong. Because Maslow said, unless your basic needs are met, you cannot move to the higher order. But we have seen, and I'm sure you have seen, a lot of people in this world who are at the point of self-actualization without caring for the food next day. They will do anything to help a stranger or a problem person in difficulty, not being sure about what will follow, and they're not worried about it. This word is so beautiful because Maslow is wrong. Because a lot of people, without caring for the consequences, without expecting any reciprocity, indulge in an action which is what is called for at that moment. And they do what they should be doing, not because somebody will reward them or there will be even a word of gratitude. They don't care. The non-reciprocal act is the salt of life. Isn't it? An act from which you are unlikely to get anything returned by design, sometimes by accident or exigency, is the salt of life. जिससे कुछ वापस मिल नहीं सकता, ऐसा काम जिसको कोई वापस कर नहीं सकता उस कर्जे को, ऐसा कर्जा. So this lady is an amazing lady, but I thought that she is making us vulnerable. She is empowered, but I am feeling vulnerable because how do I convince you and through you millions of other people in our world that her knowledge, her skill matters? How do I convince that institutions which cannot deal with this endowment, intellectual and cultural endowment, distributed all over the world, such institutions are illegitimate? How do I say that teachers, professors who teach the science or theory of development without producing sensitivity to this capability, this potential of a human mind, are also contributing to the same problem, same malaise that I am complaining about? We are as much guilty of this, isn't it? It took me a long time. Till 1985, all the books I wrote, all the papers I wrote, all the papers research papers and monographs I wrote, did not have a single word of joyfulness while talking about poverty. So once a girl came to me and she said, 83, 84, 85, she said, I want to do a project with you. So I said, what project, what do you want to do? Anything that you tell me. I said, why don't you do a project? And that day, I don't know what happened. I said, do work on something that I don't know anything about. So she said, what is the problem? I said, go to a village, I will arrange for you to go, and find out what do poor people laugh about. Because I realized suddenly that in all my work, there is not a single sentence, गरीब लोग हंसते किसके बारे में? It escaped me. In my leftist training, in my training in socialist thought, to be honest, I had only learned that poor people have life full of pathos. Dukh, dukh aur dukh. Vedana, vedana, vedana. Shoshan, shoshan, shoshan. So this girl went to the village. And after a week she sends me a letter. And the letter is as follows. Sir, today we were sitting for a meeting. Some people, a volunteer organization who was helped her, they had come. And the children somehow would not go away. So many times the elderly people shooed away the children. Go, 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 go. This is not for you. This meeting is not for you. But they will not go away. So after a while, the elders gave up. One of them said, okay, let them sit. Apna meeting shuru karte hain. Why are you bothered about them? So children sat down in a corner. And there was a dog which also came and sat down there. Children started playing with the ears of the dog. Dog was enjoying it. So he started reciprocating. Now different kids were trying different ways to tickle the dog. And that became a game for them. Whose tickle will be enjoyed by the dog more? Kiski gudgudi se kutte ko maza aayega zyada. And they were lost in a word, they were playing a game, and the dog was enjoying, and the kids were enjoying, and she said, my goodness, I didn't realize it. It was so simple, so easy to be happy. And it was in fact a very profound insight. You will become insane if you carry the load of life all the time. No matter how difficult the life is, you have to have moments of joyfulness. You have to have moments of laughter. But I had not realized it. To be honest, I'm admitting very self-critically. Till 1985, when I 83, 84, I did this study in publishment in Dortmund region, a thick volume on life histories of people. It has every description of problem that people face, but not a moment about joy. 500-page document in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. Not a line about joy. I had trained my mind to think, to see only pain, and I saw a lot of pain. What I'm trying to say, therefore, is that knowledge, no matter how profound and how deep it is, devoid of that feeling, can be sterile, can create such blunder in our cognition that we may not even be aware of them. And the reason this course I was trying to develop this routine is that I want to ask ourselves, what do we do? What do we do to create those conditions where such blinkers don't get built? Kya karna chahiye? What is your view? Kya kare? How do we avoid these blinkers? What is your suggestion? Huh?
Possibly we just have to be aware of feelings.
How do we become aware? I went to meet the Chief Minister a few days back. I told him that 70% positions in the technical colleges are vacant. Out of 26 colleges, only 3 principals are there. So what do you think children will learn? Out of 8 or 10 trades that you have in a polytechnic, only 1 mechanic is there. So there are machines, they will never be able to run them because there is nobody to tell them how to operate it. The reply was, of course, very difficult to find teachers. In yesterday's paper or today's paper, you have a statement by Education Secretary saying the same thing. Very difficult to find the teachers. I said, very strange. When you need nurses, you go to Kerala. You need secretaries, you go somewhere. You have to build a large infrastructure project, you go anywhere to get the engineers. You sell your things everywhere. Fact is, 40% pharma sector is in Gujarat. So the entire country, the medicines that the country consumes, 40% of them are produced in Gujarat. Then you don't face a problem. But you're not worried that the graduates coming out of such college, where they would not have worked on any of these machines because there's no mechanic. And a simple question, if you look at the consumables, data on consumable, you will find that because those machines are not being used, तो जो खपत होती है, जो मटेरियल लगता है उस मशीनों में, उसकी खपत नहीं हो रही ना, there is no material being consumed then. So it is not difficult to find evidence of the fact as to what I was saying. नहीं हुआ. Didn't happen. Didn't make a difference.